David, thanks for being here. We're now within that week time frame, and I'm just curious, independents so often make the difference. They're expected to again this time, and so far, what are you seeing as far as where they're breaking?
Right. You're seeing these same independent voters that were important in 2008 that gave President Obama a lot of his wins in Republican-leaning states. They've now shifted back into the Republican camp by pretty large margins. And a lot of these tight races, these tight Senate races where it's just going to be a couple points that makes the difference, they're going to be critical voting blocks.
So watching independents very closely, particularly when the storyline was so different just 2 years ago about the role they played. Let's talk about your daily 10. These are your sort of list of races that are extremely close, and topping the list is Colorado, almost a dead heat at this point.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is a dead heat. You talk to both campaigns, they both feel like this is going to be a turnout race. Both camps have their bases in line, and now it is about who can turn out their voters.
Also, you take note of the early voting, and Republicans clearly have the advantage there.
Yes, they have the advantage in Colorado by about a 25,000 person margin, and that is, again, another flip from 2008. Another point that Republicans turn to. But Colorado is probably the closest Senate race in the country right now, with Nevada and Illinois right behind it.
So let's talk Nevada. Where does that stand? Sharon Engel, of course, trying to take on the Senate Majority Leader.
This is a race that we have to watch very, very closely because you've seen a lot of the big Democratic heavyweights come out. For Harry Reid, you had the AFL-CIO leader out there just the other day. Obviously, President Obama was just in the state to campaign, so they're pulling out all the stops. The Democratic Senatorial Campaign Committee is up with another ad hitting Sharon Engel. This is just a nasty, nasty race, and Democrats internally, they say their polling shows them up.
And Illinois, former President Clinton saying, look, we're going to lose President Obama's seat if you don't rally the cause.
Right. He gave Democrats a stark message yesterday in Chicago. He basically said this seat could be slipping away unless Cook County Democrats and the Chicago base turns out for Alexi Giannoulas. Right now, you see independents moving towards Mark Kirk in that race, and you also see Alexi Giannoulas with a very high unfavorable rating, which is hampering him, trying to narrow that margin.
Also, another state that you talk about, a dead heat, Washington State. We saw President Obama there last week standing side by side with Patty Murray, but she's in the fight of her life. In stark contrast to the year of the woman when she held up her tennis shoes, this is a much different scenario this go-around.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a state where the voting is already taking place. There's no election day out in Washington. Basically, it's a 2-week mail-in vote. 38 of 39 counties are mailing in their ballots early, so the voting is taking place every day there. But this is a state where President Obama obviously went out there. He's still popular there. But Dino Rossi, the Republican, he's a former 2-time gubernatorial candidate. He is running against spending and the health care bill, bread and butter economic issues. He's got a new ad, and basically he's targeting Patty Murray on her health care vote. And that just tells you how much the environment has soured against that piece of legislation, even in deep blue Washington.
All right, 5-6 days to go. We'll check in with you again. David, thanks a lot.